All right, so we're going to try to create a nice curved retaining wall that has a lower height in this end and a lower height at the edges, and then in the middle it's gonna be a little bit taller, about 2 feet or 3 feet taller than the rest. So total 5, and then 2, and then 2. There's a couple of options, and we're gonna start with one simple one that we just explore, which is that we're going to use the path that we already have, which is going to be the same for like all of the other ones. We have their own path, and we're going to create a curved line that essentially is going to be offsetted up, and we're going to loft that line. Okay, so to do that, we could easily just go into our curved line right here, and we could just kind of try to use this as a reference to create it. It's important to do this. It has 3 points. And the reason why we did this is because this line needs to also tilt or curve in that direction. So it's gonna start straight as it is right here, but it's also gonna curve straight up there. So we're gonna essentially, we have this curve now, and it looks fine. And I don't even need this other reference. I'm gonna delete it because it's just gonna get confusing. I'm going to exaggerate that curve a little bit when we go up. But now I'm just gonna copy it. How do I copy it? Simple. You could, by the way, the gumball is a very useful tool that I use a ton. And right now it's like really weirdly positioned because I had changed the planner of this of the like of the I guess the axis. So it would be probably a good idea to create some sort of solid or rectangle, some sort of form, and try to kind of rework that. Oh, it disappeared because I changed basically how the planner is being used. So that's creating a bit of a conflict right now. So um, how do I reset it? It's related to seaplanes, and seaplanes allows us to basically change the orbits of things and so forth. So I want to just let me just draw something outside that I can see. Oh yeah, you see, that's actually like weirdly positioned because it's trying to do it around this piece. It gets challenging to try to offset this up and change it and so forth when it has such a weird shape. You could try, um, and copy that element by clicking on the Alt command and dragging this up. Now there is a level of accuracy that gets lost when you do that, but for the intents of this, we're just gonna do it like that. And later on we can change those dimensions. We can do all kinds of things. So then we're gonna exaggerate this curve a little bit more, move it to the back a little bit more. Sometimes in plan is better so that it kind of tilts back, but also you want it to be a little bit more exaggerated than what it is. And that's already done. That's fine. And then we're gonna loft it. Loft. So you pick one edge, pick another edge, and then click enter. And it kind of creates that for you right there, where it's being tilted back, right? And now it's slightly higher here and slightly lower here, but we want to accelerate that a little bit more. So before doing anything else, it's good to turn this tool called Solve Point on, which allows you to essentially turn points of something on, and you can drag those points up and down, okay? And it allows you to kind of exaggerate items up and down, changing and things like that. So we're gonna do that again here, move it. The problem here is that this piece right here doesn't have a point, and because it doesn't have a point, it moves everything up. That's why when I was exaggerating this, it would be very helpful to do so more dramatically when you create the loft, so that it already has a tilt back that's dramatic enough. But the height itself, we have options as to how to mitigate it. For now, this is kind of showing the concept clearly to the point where you could start massaging it with more time. But let's give it some thickness. And you can do that by saying offset surface. And you can pick the direction, by the way. And we know it's going to be 18 inches. It's going to be done. So 18 inches. And you type it and click enter. And you pick the direction where you want it to go. In this case, I left it the way it was, entered, and it created it. And you just did it. So you have your kind of retaining wall right here. Um, Again, I use the reference path that we had before, so that's kind of generally where you wanted it before. Move the piece up and down. There's other options, and I don't want to confuse people, so I want to just keep it simple. We use the reference path before to create a curved, beautiful, clean path. We move that path up and backwards and accelerated it with the control points of that curve using this curve command that we used to draw it. And then we just did a loft, and the loft created a surface, which surface then got modified with the offset to give it thickness. And that gave us this. So that's one way of going about it. That's a simple way of going about it. I'm going to show a couple other options in a minute, but I think it's good to understand this simple concept of how you can exaggerate it and change it very quickly.